Hello everybody and welcome back to Harvest Moon Magical Melody. I'm now halfway through winter and so I thought I would update everybody on what has been going on and a few things that I have done. First thing I've done is upgraded my house to the final level. This is level 5 and thank you to the person who reminded me that you can actually get a level 5 house. I had completely forgotten and I had enough lumber and money to afford it, so that was great. When you get a level 5 house, the downstairs size doesn't change from the level 4 house, so you'll still have the same amount of space. The upstairs gets bigger, but as you can see, I've pretty much kept to the same color scheme. There's a couple of things I've changed. I've swapped out my cabinet. I put out a table just for a little bit of extra color. But in terms of how it looks pretty much the same the last time I did a video. So let's check upstairs. And as you can see, the upstairs is a little bit bigger, so now I have a bit more space to put things. It's really disappointing though, because I figured that maybe once I upgraded my house to a bigger level there would be more furniture available, but there's not, so my upstairs is kind of bare because there's just not enough furniture to put up here. I don't have enough chairs, I don't have enough wall pieces, I can only put one bookshelf, one TV, etc, etc, so it's kind of a shame because this place looks a little bit empty, but there's not a whole lot that I can really use to fill it up. Either way, it's now fully upgraded, so I think that is pretty much 100% complete in terms of buildings. I think I've pretty much built everything and built it to its maximum capacity at this point in the game. And on the outside, you can see that the house gets skinnier, whereas the level 3 and level 4 houses are really long, they're really wide, but it seems like because the upstairs expands, the house gets a little bit shorter and taller, so I had to change the exterior. They didn't have blue available, which was kind of sad because I really like my blue house, so I went with green because I think the other choices were orange or brick, and then there was another one I didn't really like. I'm still pretty happy with it though. Green's a pretty nice color, and I can't really see it in wintertime anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm gonna go check in on my animals. There's also a random mushroom growing in winter. I don't know why that is. Oh, I can shear my sheep. I didn't actually know that. That's pretty awesome. So I guess I'll have to do that. It'll be a big money-making day because I can milk all of my cows and I can shear my sheep, which is awesome. As you can see here, Spot has grown up into a big adult cow, so I now have 3 cows to milk, 2 sheep to shear, and I decided to buy a baby horse, just for the simple reason that I only have 1 horse, and I felt kind of bad just filling my barn up with cows and sheep and having Epona all by herself. I won't get any use out of the horse. It's definitely not going to grow up in time for me to actually make use of it and to train it, but it's very cute. It's a very cute little baby horse, and I chose the name Default, which is super lame. The reason I did that is because the game doesn't actually give you an option, like an auto-select option. Some games will choose names for you or put in names if you can't think of one. I couldn't think of one, and it's, I think, 3:30 in the morning at this time of recording this, so my brain's just shot. So I chose the name Default. Just, I guess, kind of comical, or at least in my mind. And I think with that addition, I have 2 more animals to get before I'll be able to get the Animal Kingdom note. I still have a little while to do that, so I'm not overly concerned. I guess I only really have 1 more animal, actually. So that's great. Maybe I'll have another sheep because I do have 3 cows. I'm really broke right now though. I spent a lot of my money, which I'll go into a little bit later. I can't afford to buy a bunch of animals, although they're not very expensive. I think the most expensive animal is the cow for 3,500, which really isn't too bad. The only thing is that you have to wait for it to grow up, obviously. So I'll come back and shear my sheep later because I didn't bring my clippers and I don't feel like going back for them. And I guess I'll feed my chickens because why not? I was debating getting another chicken. I thought it would be nice to add on to the chicken family because they don't take very long to grow up and it's been so long since I've had a chicken. But I'm lazy. And it's been these 3 chickens for so long, it's kind of like they're, you know, a perfect pairing. All 3 of them together. And I don't get much money off of eggs anyways. And they've served their purpose. I was able to win the competition, so I have no complaints about the chickens, although it is very unusual that I didn't really spotlight them in this playthrough. If anybody's watched any of my other playthroughs, you would probably know that most of the time I'm usually very kind of gaga about chickens. I really love to raise them, I love to have a lot of them, and I prefer them over barn animals, but I gave them a little bit of a hard time in this playthrough, and I feel kind of bad about that. Anyways, now that I've semi-apologized to my chickens, I'm going to go to see Woody, and I'm going to take a look at some of the purchases that I have made. Thankfully, he's not closed today, so that is awesome. And I might be able to do it from here. You can see here that I've got the level 5 house, and I just want to see if I'm able to see a cost. It's $50,000, and I want to say it's 100 pieces of lumber, but don't hold me to that because I may have gotten that number off. But if you are remodeling a house and you're making it from a level 4 to a level 5 house, it's going to be significantly cheaper than building a level 5 house. So I paid $50,000 for the level 5 house, which I didn't think was a bad price considering how much space that you get. However, if I wanted to actually build a level 5 house from scratch, as you can see, it would be 300 pieces of lumber, which is a lot, and it would cost me 80,000 gold. So remodeling is always your best option. I don't think I've mentioned that, but I think it's just common sense. If you're just building up your house gradually, remodeling is always the best option. So go with that if you can. And as you can see, these scale up quite a bit in price and buy lumber if you are building them from scratch, and if you are remodeling them, it's really not as bad. You don't have to buy or as many pieces of lumber or chop down as many trees or save up as much money, so that's good. I've already mentioned it, but I have purchased all of the furniture that he has. And finally, if we go down to land purchase, you can see here that I only have 3 more pieces of property to buy in the entire game, hence why I'm broke, because I bought about $120,000 worth of property, just because I figured, hey, I've got the money, I don't know what to spend money on, and to make my game as 100% complete as I possibly can, I figured it would be kind of a cool idea to see how much property I can buy. So I now have 17 out of 20 pieces of property. You can see I've got virtually no lumber left after building my main home, and I've still got a lot of food, a lot of bird feed. That hasn't been a problem for me in a little while. My animals haven't been sick, so I've been doing pretty well. Some of my animals I haven't been paying as much attention to. You can see Epona's hearts went way down. She got sick, and then I haven't been taking her out and riding her is another huge thing that I think has contributed to that. But regardless, I think I've been a pretty good rancher. And I've been filling out the other section. I've been doing this for the entire month. It's kind of been my pet project to go and mine stuff and then to turn it into jewelry. So I've now found every single gem that there is to find in the mines. And I've made every single brooch except for the diamond brooch, which I'm getting made right now. And now I'm working on creating rings, which has been kind of a fun little project, because that's not something I normally do. I would usually just ship the ore or the gem and just forget about it, but you make so much more money turning it into jewelry, and it's kind of cool to see how much you can actually get of this filled out. There's no new notes to really go over, so there's nothing exciting there. Haven't been really doing a whole lot with the friendships. I went and I got some cakes on Thanksgiving Day and I gave it away to some people. I had some cakes left over though, so I ended up put some in my shipping box because I just had way too many and people were away or I couldn't find them or I had already given them a cake or, you know, whatever. So that's that. I think that's pretty much all that I have been doing. I haven't been doing a whole lot of anything else. I've just been spending a lot of money, making a lot of money, doing a lot of mining, and I hope to still get the Animal Kingdom note because that's one that I can certainly get 100%. Hopefully my baby will be born at the end of the month. That's something that even if I don't get by the 3-year mark, it's going to be so close to the 3rd-year mark that I'm going to show it anyways because why not? And if I start to fish, there is a note that I can get for catching a certain amount of rubber boots, so that might be something that, you know, I might want to work towards just to get another note, because that would make me go to 89 notes. I would be just short of 90. And as you can see in winter, there is nothing to collect in the mountains, so that's kind of boring. I don't think I've done anything with my second house either. Let me just go take a look though, because it's been a while since I've actually come in here. Ah, no, I haven't done anything with it. I really should remodel it though, because this is awfully bland looking, and I do have a lot of furniture to work with. I've slept in here once or twice, I think, just because it got too late, recently anyhow. But every once in a while I think I should redecorate it. Maybe I'll do that for next time. And if I pull up my menu again, the only other thing that is kind of interesting is that I've been trying to reach the bottoms of the caves. I do believe you get a note for reaching the 100th floor of the Moonlight Cave, but you don't get a note for reaching the 100th floor of the Lake Cave, which is kind of silly. And I also found out that you get a Power Berry when you reach the 100th level of the Moonlight Cave. So that is, in fact, the very last Power Berry in the game, which I'm probably not going to get because reaching the bottom of the mine is an absolute pain in the butt. And it's a lot to do with chance. And it's also very hard to do because time passes when you're in the mine, so that makes things a little bit more difficult. You know, I'm not playing this on an emulator, so I don't have the ability to save and then reload my game and cheat or anything like that. And I've never done it. I've made it to the 95th floor, I think was my record, and then I had to stop because it was 3 in the morning and my character was just absolutely exhausted. So that's unfortunately a shame. That's one of those notes that's a little bit harder to get. And a few of you have also asked if I'm going to be showing off the final ending off screen or if I'm going to give a huge detailed list of how to get the rest of the notes I'm missing, and I probably won't. I'm definitely not going to get the rest of the notes off screen unless I really feel like it, although I doubt that will happen. If I do, of course I'll record it and put it up if I ever get to that point. And there are tons of guides on how to get all the notes, but I will direct everybody to my own personal guide later when I do the last video in the series. So that answers those questions. I'm just looking for stuff to forage, but then I remembered that it's winter and there is virtually nothing to forage. So I'm so sorry that this has been just a bunch of boringness of me running around trying to collect some things. But there's not really a lot to do in winter. The only other thing that I would be doing right now is mining, and I guess that's not really interesting to watch either, because that's the same thing over and over and over again. Because like I've mentioned before, winter's really not a very exciting month. It's really a lot more exciting in this game than it is in other games, I find. Winter's really a hit or a miss. Sometimes I'm insanely bored in winter and I can't wait for the next season to come. And then other times I really, really look forward to winter, and this is one of these games that I really look forward to winter in. And I've been really glad that I haven't had the urge to just stop playing because winter's just such a big drag for me, but Unfortunately, commentary slash play-wise, there's not a whole lot to say because I own a lot of things, but I'll probably put up one video, maybe two more, depending on how much more I have to say. And I guess the rest of my day is going to consist of mining and maybe fishing. Maybe I'll try and fish some cans and some rubber boots out of the ocean, do my part to clean up and maybe get another note, because I haven't gotten a note in a really long time. It would be kind of nice to feel like I was making a little bit of progress, so I guess I'll go put my stuff away. I'll need to share my sheep as well. And hopefully that was a good enough update for everybody. So I guess I will work on that. I don't need to ship these, because that's, another boring, tedious thing to watch. Thank you for watching all of this boring tediousness, and I hope that you'll join me next time.